So we're just going through with the welding process at the moment. Welding is actually kind of, you use a welder, but welding is about getting a heap of heat into the metal to provide adequate penetration and to securely attach the two pieces of metal. With patch panels on a vehicle, heat is your enemy. Heat will cause buckling of the panel, so you really don't want it any hotter than what you can touch it. So you can see here, there's the join line, and the trick is to get penetration. So here you got to eradicate the join line, and then you've actually joined the two pieces of metal together, but you don't want too much heat. So for one, you can see there's a little that's blown through, because this metal isn't quite as strong as what it appeared. There probably was some surface rust behind there that made the metal quite thin. So you can only do a couple of spots at a time. You do a spot here, you do a spot there, and then you do a spot over here, and maybe one there. But the best thing to do is to always, in between, is to touch the patch panel and just feel it. If you can't hold your hand on there, then it's way too hot. You don't want too much heat. Technically, you're stitching the patch panel onto the original panel. You're not welding, because you can't just blast up a nice long bead. You'll just cause warping, and it'll happen up, the heat will radiate and you'll get a warp up here, rather than here. This will look fine, but up here will start to bow out, because the heat will travel, and then you'll have a cool zone and a hot zone, and that's when you'll get the warping. So I can't because I need both hands for the welding, the stitching on of this panel, but I also wouldn't want my phone anywhere near all the spatter that shoots out from this. It's quite dangerous. You can set fire to your vehicle. You have to be wary of the fire risk. So you can burn yourself. I'm in not the best position at the moment. I get a lot of spatter on my legs and that. But that's part of welding. If you're not getting burns, you're not really welding. So, but you can make out still. There's the line. You've got to keep going until that line's eradicated. So it comes up a nice, looks like just one piece of metal, like there. So, and an interesting note about the Mini here is that the straightness of the panels probably wasn't one of their big prerequisites of building the vehicle. It was a cheap, small vehicle for a specific kind of market. I had to hammer out along here to get this patch panel to actually marry up with where the metal was originally here to here. This is all flat, but you can see from the grinding there that this original panel wasn't flat anyway, because I had it all nice and flat and married up, but you can see that there's a dip along there, which is caused by when the panel was pressed. and this bit flares out from the straight line there. It actually flared out to there. I would have preferred to get it a bit further out, but it was an issue of then having it fit well here. So, but yeah, it's quite a difficult fiddly procedure fixing rust in old vehicles. And my welder is an SIP MIG-mate. I bought that in '88. It cost $750. You can get much cheaper welders. I recommend a gas MIG. Problem with gasless, especially with, is just heaps of spatter. So you have to do a lot more cleanup. But it does add to, it is a lot cheaper. You can pick up a gasless MIG for, 130 bucks. Wire's not much more expensive, the flux wire. Gas is expensive, and the rent is ridiculous. The BOC are just rogues. So there's a pretty old welder, but it does the job. It wasn't really a large home hobby market for MIG welders when I bought this in '88. So, but yeah, that's working here. Just, you take your time, be patient, don't be in a hurry. It might take a week to do a good job, which is better than spending a day and doing a shit job. So